Poor old psychopaths. It was all going so well for them. They hoodwinked us into thinking that a poorly designed flu virus of American military origin was the new Black Death. They locked us down while fabulously enriching themselves, and then they tried awfully hard to push a certain medical intervention which does not work and has unknown side effects. You know the story. Unfortunately for the psychopaths, their little putsch has failed. And now we neurotypicals have to figure out what to do with them next. I have a suggestion, but first, let's take a quick look at where we are now. The psychopaths who rule over us have a big problem. We know who they are. The past 2 years have flushed them out, and we have the receipts. Psychopaths prefer to work in the shadows, but in 2020, they sensed their time had come at last, and they made their move. They were the enlightened ones, and they were going to tell everyone what to do for their own safety. Let's just remember for a moment the weaponization of the police and the bureaucracy, the fact-free edicts from face masks to micromanaging how long you can walk the dog for, the endless hectoring from narcissistic buffoons in the media, the silencing of good scientists, the elderly dying alone in isolation, and our children damaged for life by lockdowns, the snitching, and, in some countries, forcing healthy people to pay for their own imprisonment. And that's before we've even started talking about the medical intervention. And because the psychopaths have no shame, they never back down, and they are still going all out, pushing more grand narratives built on fake science, taking it upon themselves to save the world one more time, with more dire and unforeseen consequences. Here's a memo to our psychopathic overlords. If you're going to pose as our saviour, you'd better be sure we need saving. Maybe the only thing we need saving from is you. The past 2 years have been a catastrophe. The deaths and ruined lives will be counted in the millions. And yet, for the narcissists and psychopaths who took those decisions, there have been no consequences and no accountability. They have even been promoted and rewarded. And we all just shrug. Cynically, we say to ourselves, the government is corrupt, so what's new? It's time to move on. The lessons have been learned. If people get hurt, they can just sue, can't they? I feel fine.
Not a great plan.
So they're going to get away with it, just like they did in 2008, and it's going to be even worse next time and the time after that, because psychopaths take down everyone with them. But I say, we have an opportunity here. We can act now to solve the psychopath problem forever. So here is my humble suggestion. We kill them. Now, I know that makes me sound just like a psychopath, and yes, I am talking about murdering between 1 and 10% of the world's population, but hear me out. The first reason why we should exterminate the psychopaths is that they are not really human anyway. Their brain structure and neurochemistry are quite different from neurotypical people. At the species level, psychopaths behave like a parasitic infestation. Psychopaths are visible, detectable, and malign. So forget about hating certain ethnic groups, that's just misdirection. Kill all the psychopaths, and once they're gone, we'll all get along fine. Secondly, psychopaths don't contribute anything good. They don't innovate, they don't create, they just mess things up. They don't have any real friends, and they don't love anyone, so who's going to miss them anyway? Thirdly, massacring all the psychopaths will be good for us. Once we have deleted these power-hungry, dysfunctional losers from the gene pool, we can focus on the important stuff. Feeding the hungry, making great art, interstellar travel, and having nice days out with the kids. The economy will improve enormously because incompetent weaklings who cannot take responsibility will no longer be a factor. We will all be better off. People, we can do this. We know who the psychopaths are now, and we've done this before. After so much hubris, it's time for nemesis. Sure, there will be some temporary unpleasantness as we locate and execute 800 million people, but it'll all be worth it in the long run. Trust me, Klaus.